Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 2 of the DayDream Podcast. I'm your host, Evan Shako, accompanied by...
Alex.
Yes. And... and today's episode is brought to you by us. Because no one will pay us yet.
Someday.
Yeah. I mean, it has
Maybe.
to. If we keep making them, it has to happen. This is how this works, right? So if you haven't noticed, change of location for this episode. We are back in Rio de Janeiro. If you couldn't tell by the intro, if I even used the time lapse that Alex gave me.
Yeah, we're not in Rio, but
you
I
went to Brazil.
Just there. I was in Brazil.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah. What was that? Your third time going?
No,
right?
my second time.
Second time.
My
Okay.
second time going. My girlfriend lives there, and I visit her on occasion.
Yeah.
It was cool. I'd never been to. So the first time I went to like Porto Alegre, which is a city. It's just like a small city in Brazil. And then we went to Uruguay for like a beach vacation. So I didn't really spend much time in Brazil the first time, but this time I spent the whole time in Brazil, and I went to Sao Paulo, which is where she actually lives. And
you stopped somewhere else though, like on your way into Brazil, didn't you? Or was that also in
Brazil?
Brazil?
Well, I had to take a connection in Peru.
Right, yeah. And you spent the night there.
Yeah, but like in the airport, like sleeping on the chairs.
Yeah, but I mean, you still spent a night in Peru.
To be fair, yeah. But then we went to Rio for a little bit, and we went to a beach called Búzios, and then we went back to Sao Paulo. It was pretty fun. The drinking age is 18 down there. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the first time you've ever had alcohol, right?
No.
Dude, shut up!
But that was the first time I drank with my brother, and it was legally and in a bar, which I wasn't expecting, because my brother came with me, and he's 18. So that was interesting. The party scene is different because they can go to like nightclubs and bars and stuff, so they're a little more chill about alcohol. Like here, it's like binge drinking a little bit more than there, and they're like they don't like drink as much, I guess, but it's because they've been drinking.
Yeah. But no, we're not in Rio. We're not in Chicago. We're back at home.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah. And I don't know. We're filming this in my house, my basement, and to me it's honestly just kind of weird because I feel like this is something we've always wanted to do. We've always kind of wanted to film like a podcast or at least something consistent. Yeah. And it's always been like we've been shooting stuff in my basement all the time because it's like the only place where no one ever interrupts. Because I mean, we filmed the Doki Doki Literature Club playthrough right over there.
We also, one of our like first films, there was a bar scene. If you remember when we were very little.
Yeah.
So, this bar has been around.
In a lot of our shorts forever.
Yeah.
Man, no, we're back in the Berg. I just got back from Delaware. Went to the Firefly Music Festival, which was crazy. It was life changing, man. I gotta always keep it as a part of me.
When I was in Brazil, I got a picture of E.T. and I still got that.
Yeah.
Not on me, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a picture of E.T.
Yeah, I got a tattoo right above my ass at Firefly, and so I guess that's always with me.
Cool.
You want to see it?
Cool.
No, but it was a lot of fun. I got to see just so many artists I've always wanted to see, because like Arctic Monkeys, Eminem, Killers, Kendrick Lamar, MGMT, just so many awesome artists. It was just one of the greatest weekends I've ever had. It was amazing.
That's cool. So you were there for Eminem, you said. So did you like see the thing that he put up about the gunshots?
Yeah, it was actually really cool, because I saw that picture the day I got back on Philip DeFranco's show, and it was just funny to me because, like, you know, I watch that show all the time. But that picture, I could have seriously taken that picture. That's right where I was for the concert. So it was, I don't know, it was cool. But I was saying this to my brother whenever he was asking about it, that, I mean, like, I've been to a lot of concerts, like, and a lot of, like, harder rap, like, harder EDM concerts with a lot of sound effects, like, you know, like gunshots and stuff. Like, I mean, Kendrick had a few gunshot sounds, and I think Son Holo, he's an EDM artist, he had a few. But Eminem's, the sound effects that were in Eminem's were really intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I you know, like he said, if you're not prepared for that, don't go to his concert. And that's true. Mm-hmm. But I do understand, like, people who maybe aren't familiar with all his music that may have went to that concert and they were like, oh, this freaked me out. Like, yeah, it was kind of freaky. Huh. But I don't understand all the outrage towards Eminem because it's like, of course that's going to be in it.
Yeah.
But they were intense noises, so I kind of understood what they were saying.
Well, that's a good, like, reference, like someone who was actually there and was listening to his music, you know.
Yeah.
I guess that was prior to the outrage though, because he had responded to it and then played the music that he heard. His response was on the LED screens on the sides of the stage. But I'm glad he addressed it, but I'm also glad that he addressed it like Eminem, you know. Like, if you don't want to hear that, then don't come to my show. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just liked it because he didn't want to, like, change the show or anything, and
yeah.
Why would he?
Yeah. I mean, there's some sensitivity that I understand, but there's outrage that comes from it that I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I get why people may have freaked out a little bit because the noises were a little bit freaky, but to be outraged at Eminem, I thought was stupid.
Yeah, it's what you said. Like, Kendrick was putting gunshots in it too. It's like it was selective. Like, some person realized it during his show, and it could have been during Kendrick's show.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
Yeah,
but the outrage is directed towards Eminem when it's like, really, like, there's a lot of rappers in general that put gunshot sounds in there.
Well, the difference is that, and people talked about this, that the sound effects that Eminem had, that they weren't gunshots. Like, they sounded like gunshots, but really what it was the pyrotechnics. It was actual things going off. Uh-huh. And that's why it was freaky, because, you know, Kendrick had pre-recorded gunshots. Son Holo had pre-recorded gunshots. But Eminem had live pyrotechnics going off and, like, making these really loud sounds. And so, you know, and for one part of the concert, I was sitting down because I was in the back. Because, I mean, I like Eminem, but I'm not enough to be deep in a crowd for Eminem, because that was, like, total attendance was 90,000 people at Firefly. Sure. I think all of them were there for that Eminem concert.
Oh, wow.
So I was sitting in the back for one of the parts where one of the sounds went off, and I was like, oh, shit. You know, because I didn't see anything go off. So yeah, but I understood a little bit. But
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So you guys didn't film anything down in Brazil, right?
No, I couldn't, because it's really dangerous down there. So my first time I went down, when we went to Uruguay, it was no problem. But it was like a nicer beach, so it was like whatever. But when I was in Sao Paulo, especially, my girlfriend was like, "You'll lose it. Like, people will mug you. Especially, like, if you have it out, they're definitely gonna mug you. And the only time a camera is useful is when you have it out."
Yeah.
She's like, "Just take your phone. You can take pictures with that." And I was disappointed because I wanted to make a Brazil trip, like, film.
Yeah, like,
I made one.
Like
I made
Chicago,
one for
kinda.
Yeah. But I made one when I went to Uruguay, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed making it, and I, like, have something to look back on, like, video to look back and see it. But that time lapse that I took, that might be the intro. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only video I have, and it's technically not video. But I could only take pictures, so it kind of annoyed me because, like, I'm a filmmaker and I want to make films about things I want to make films about, and when I have a limitation, it It sucks.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I had the money to just immediately get a new camera, no doubt about it, I'd take it wherever. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, all right, fucking try and steal it. Like, I had the money to replace it. Like, it would suck if it was stolen, but I would get the opportunity to try and film things. But it was all right anyway. Like, it was still fun. And like the pictures we took were really good, even though it was just on phones. But it kind of sucked. Like, I took my camera with me, but I never took it anywhere. Like, there's nothing on my camera.
Yeah, I mean,
not even a picture.
I don't know. That's just such bullshit that people can be like that. Because I mean, even in New York, like you see, you watch Casey Neistat's videos, and you know he leaves all of his shit just out. Mm-hmm. And you're like, being from Pittsburgh and like just what you hear about New York, like, I would never just leave my gear out in New York. But they don't even take it. But in Brazil, they actually will. And
well, in Brazil, they'll do a lot more than they do.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good thing to talk about too. I don't want to just trash Brazil.
No.
Because there's some shit that they have on lock that we do not.
Mm-hmm.
But like the crime there is kind of fucked. Like, my girlfriend can't walk down the street and without maybe getting catcalled, getting looked at. It's disgusting. It's like really, like, a lot of men, just like older men, everyone is like looking like every girl up and down. And you like wonder why it's like that more there than here, but it's pretty gross. And but then again, you meet people and you talk to them, and it's like, wow, these people are really cool. Like, every single one of her friends I enjoyed talking to. Like, they were all really nice people, really funny people, just like really chill people to hang out with. So it's like weird, like, back and forth, but like shit they do have like on lock is like their fruit is fucking amazing.
Dude,
they don't put anything in it.
You will get shanked walking down the road, but I'll be goddamn if I'm not eating a pineapple while I'm doing it.
Oh my god, dude, no. Their fruit is so good. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's like where it's the freshest.
Yeah, they don't put shit in it either.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fruit. Like, we walked down the street from her house to a market where they just had like every fucking fruit, and fruits I'd never even heard of. It was really cool. The coffee's better. There's a lot of food shit that's better.
Yeah.
But also, like, in general, just like the attitude of life is better than America. Like, I feel like,
what do you mean?
Like, Americans are very stressed out, and we got to do this, and this, you know, and very like set in their ways of like, we got to do it this way, you know, and like, America, this is how we do it, you know, we're American, you know. In Brazil, they're just as patriotic. Like, go watch a World Cup game in Brazil, and they
I don't want
go
to.
Crazy. They go crazy. I watched one, and like they score a goal, and you could hear vuvuzelas like out in the city, like,
that's crazy,
miles and miles away. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But like, so they have that like patriotism, they have that like sense of unity within their country, just like we do. But like, let me put it this way: like, when I was with her family, we had a plan. We didn't stick to it, and we still got everything done.
Yeah.
And we got coffee like every day. After everything we did, we got coffee, and it was like, and they're like, whatever. Like, we made it. Like, we made it here.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a better way of doing things, honestly.
Yeah, they're so chill about so much. Like, everyone's like, oh, like, we'll get to it, you know? And it's not even, that's over-exaggerating it. Like, oh, we'll get to it. They don't even think of it. They're just like, that's just, like, their life just flows easier than in America. Everyone's thinking about, like, everything. Like, I went to work today, and then I had to think about, am I going to make it in time to go to Evans and film the podcast and get enough sleep tonight? For them, it's like, maybe we don't get enough sleep tonight. You know, it's like, whatever. And they eat dinner at like 10 o'clock at night sometimes. Like, that's what dinner is.
Like, that's really weird. But people always shit on me, like my family, for eating like 7:30 at night.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that weird.
No, it's not that weird.
Like, people are like, I'm eating dinner at 5. I'm like, then you're fucking hungry by 8. Like,
yeah.
Like, why would you eat that early? But
yeah, but yeah, I had dinner so late. My brother was like, "Dude, this is gonna kill me. Like, like I need to eat."
Yeah.
But we'd have lunch at 3. But the problem is we'd have breakfast at normal time, like everyone else. So there would be a period where it's longer in between meals.
Yeah.
Than in America. Also, like they find it weird that we eat sandwiches for lunch.
What is it? When do they eat
their sandwiches?
Yeah.
They eat them in breakfast. They ate ham and cheese. We ate ham and cheese like every morning. It was good.
Well, yeah.
But like,
I mean, there's never a bad time for a sandwich. Like,
but like, I was like, you do this at breakfast? Like,
yeah.
doesn't like, I don't know. Just it doesn't make sense to me. But for them, it's like sandwiches at lunch. They also think it's weird that like people drink milk.
In general,
just like with a meal, like to have milk instead of like water or juice is weird. But they're also like American milk is better. So
well, yeah.
So if you think American milk is better, then obviously we would be more likely to have it than you. But like I don't drink milk that much, but sometimes my mom serves it and I drink it, you know, and I have no problem with it. But like they're like, this is weird. It's interesting, and they also like, I don't know why I didn't assume this like already, but like they have different accents within Portuguese, like within cities, like in America, but like when I hear it, I can barely tell. And it was weird to me because it was like I can tell the difference between my non-existent accent. I just have like an American accent.
Yeah, like a very normally. Like Midwest.
Yeah, and a Chicago accent or a New York accent or a Boston accent or a Southern accent. Mm-hmm. But I can't tell any difference between their accents, and it's really strange. They explained it to me to a point where I could understand. Fuck. But Georgia, my girlfriend, she said that she was the same way, like about American accents, is that she couldn't tell the difference between a Southern accent and a normal accent. She didn't even know what a Southern accent was.
It's so weird.
Yeah. But like, I just feel like the differentiation between like different accents in America are like very different.
I mean, yeah. Like, of course we do though.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard like different areas of the UK talking?
Yeah, I have. That's like, different
holy
too.
Shit! Like listening to someone from like North London and then someone from Blackpool is so
very different.
It's so different. It, like in Blackpool, you can barely understand.
Yeah, well, you could even tell like the difference between like Ireland and the UK.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
You know, they say and Scotland, like they're all like right in that area.
Ireland? No, Northern Ireland is part of the UK, right?
Sorry, whatever, like Great Britain and
Britain
or England, whatever. But like they all sound different, but they all speak the same language and they're all in the same area. It's interesting, but like also like you think like right, but like America's like that too, you know. And it just makes me wonder like places like China, you know, where it's like like Portuguese, it's like you kind of get it a little bit. It's like Spanish, where it's like, okay, I get the rhythm and like flow of this, and like some words sound similar to English words, but like Chinese is completely different.
Yeah.
So like, what are their accents like there? Do they have them, or is like their language is very like mathematical, and like structured very differently than English, because English was like a peasant language. The kings in England, they spoke French.
French, yeah.
But like, so theirs is like more structured out, like in a proper way. So like, do they speak? Like, I don't know, because because like I've never talked to anyone Chinese about this, and I went to China and I can't understand a word that anyone's saying. Like, not even close, because it's not based off of Latin. So I can't, like, I can barely understand, like, the difference between two words for them. Like, when one word stops and another one starts. Like, let alone if this person is from a different place than this person based off of how they're saying those words. So it's really weird, like, that there are just other human beings that you just cannot understand on the planet. It's really strange. And I recommend that everyone, like, travel outside the country at some point in their lives because it humbles you. It humbles you, like especially like somewhere in like South America or somewhere that isn't necessarily first world.
Yeah.
Brazil's pretty well off, but I wouldn't say that they're exactly first world.
I mean, yeah, definitely certain areas. Like even in Rio, like whenever the Olympics were there, like all the footage of the water, and it's bad in certain areas. Like that's, I mean, even there isn't necessarily like true poverty, but it's way worse than anything in America.
Yeah, well, they have like things called favelas, which are just like, they're basically like ghettos in America, but worse. Mm-hmm. Like, you ever seen like The Incredible Hulk or like a spy movie where they're jumping over the rooftops of all those really close buildings in South America? That's what a favela is.
Okay.
And Georgia's like, you don't go in there. You just don't go in there. And we drove through them, and she was terrified. Like, you could tell that this is not a good place to be in. There are plenty of good people that live there, and they're just poor. But there's also like the worst people. Yeah. Like, live there. They commit terrible crimes. People die in favelas very often. Not die, they get killed. But it's like all
people die of natural causes in favelas all the time. It's awful.
It's fucked though. It's not like America at all. So when we talk about our problems, they're real and we should do something about them. But we got to understand that like no matter how much you complain, we're doing fucking good.
Oh yeah.
Like really, really good. Like the worst people, like the people that have it the worst in America are definitely doing better than some countries, people like in the middle. Like it's bad in a lot of places. Now this is kind of dumb, but like for like more of a middle class, upper class level of like, whoa, that's weird. You can't flush toilet paper in Brazil.
You just throw it out?
Yeah, you have to throw it in the trash.
Oh god.
Yeah, but it's.
I heard Ari. Pipes. Do you know Ari Shafir? Do you know that? I heard him talking about how he had to do that in China.
In China, it's worse, where you have to actually like squat down, like it's just a hole in the ground in some places.
Unless you're like in a hotel or something.
Yeah, in a hotel. And I went to China too, and the hotels all had regular toilets. But I went into a university, and it was like a hole in the ground. It was a nice hole in the ground, but it was still a hole in the ground.
Very wide.
Yeah.
Very,
But in Brazil, like the pipes can't handle the toilet paper.
Oh, okay.
So it's not fun going to the bathroom in Brazil. It's kind of gross. Like their airport bathrooms are even more disgusting than America. Don't stop at a gas station in Brazil. It's really gross. But it's just minor things where it's like you go to another place and it's a beautiful country, but something went wrong along the way to lead them into things. They have really like fucked up government shit. Like politicians steal from the country all the time. So like things have been going wrong a lot, and it happens in a lot of other countries outside of America and like Europe, and there's plenty of countries that do well, but these countries that are doing bad, it's like someone fucked them over, but someone fucked them over so bad that people continuously fuck them over, and the people can't do shit about it. Like, we have a democracy. Brazil does too. It's not as good, but they have a democracy. People get to vote on shit. They elect their officials, but they don't. Like, it's kind of like the Hillary Trump thing, like every year, where it's like their options suck.
Yeah.
But like that's like all the time, and it makes things hard for everyone. And also like politicians use the people in favelas, and the people in favelas can't get a good education, so a politician will go to them and tell them they're going to do something for them, and they'll all vote for that person. And that person can be a really bad person, but because they don't understand the person's other like political beliefs, because they weren't educated enough, they go, oh, this is going to help me, I'm going to vote for them. And it makes the country worse in general and ends up not helping them. So it's kind of fucked. Like all our politicians are fucked, but their politicians are fucked more.
Yeah. They just don't give a shit about like the citizens' view of them. I feel, at least not nearly as much as American politicians do. Because I mean, they do corrupt shit, like all of them do.
Yeah.
but they also have to save face. You know, they have to. You know, like everyone knows that Brazil is fucked. Everyone knows that shit happens there. Mm-hmm. But in America, people are like, oh no, like this person's not corrupt, you know. Yeah. And but to an extent, they probably are, and because everyone wants to take handouts from somebody, and everyone wants to get ahead. And, but they hide it, and it's not as bad because they want to save it from the public eye.
Yeah, because I think the democracy is more respected by the politicians here. Yeah. They understand that the people still have a say, and the people are the ones that get them where they need to go. Yeah. No matter how much money they shove into stuff, if you're not a likable person, you might not get elected. Yeah. And it really depends on who likes you and where they are. But in Brazil, to be fair, there are people that defend people from each side. So they have like liberals and conservatives in Brazil. But there are people defending like politicians that go to jail because they were proven to have committed a crime and they want them freed. So that's a little different than in America, where it's like people on both sides want Hillary and Trump in jail, but they're not going. So it's okay to be like, you know, like, oh, I agree with this person's beliefs and stuff, because like they haven't been to court about it, you know, like and they're neither of them are in jail, but there are literally politicians in jail in Brazil that are being defended by people like citizens. Yeah. So it's I said it to them. I said, like, when we were in Rio, they were like, isn't this the most beautiful city in the world? And I was like, honestly, I think it is. I'd move here if your government was better. Yeah. Like, it's
aesthetically, it's great, but
oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful city I've ever been to. There might be a more beautiful city in the world, but I haven't seen one. Not one even close. It's astonishingly beautiful. Like, it amazes you when you look at it all the time. Like, there's like islands that are just mountains, and you go like, this is from like an animated movie. Like, this isn't real, you know? And the mountains are just like crazy, and the beaches are beautiful. Some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. And
what was that thing you put on your story? That famous statue of Jesus, I forget what it's called. Oh, it was like really. It was like really foggy, and you were like Deus do vape or something like that.
Yeah, so that's on my Instagram. I said Deus do vape, which means God of vape. Because when we went and visited, it was cloudy out, so we were like in a cloud. And
then it was just Jesus.
It was just Jesus, like in a huge cloud. Yeah. So it was like, Deus do vape.
That's funny. But I said something about the Chicago video earlier. Have you been looking at how it's doing at all?
I haven't looked at how it was doing. I think, what was it, like 36 views?
It's at like 39 now, which, I mean, is not good, but like for me, it's real good. Just because, you know, right now, and I think we talked about this a little bit in the last podcast, but it's so hard to break out into, you know, like random people seeing your videos, and I'm really confident. I think it's a really good video, but just like escaping the circle of people that I know is so hard, and like but for only the people that I know watching it, and like everyone that's watched it has been like, this is really good. You know, like people should legit be watching this, and you should do more of this. It's just, I don't know, it's the best reception I've got from a video ever. Just because people just love it. But yeah, but it was a lot of fun shooting that. Like, I had a lot of fun in Chicago, but just and we were talking about this in Chicago, was that the one thing that was really hard to get over was that, like, I could hold a camera and film down the road as much as I wanted to. You know, that was totally fine. But if anyone's seen the video, they know it's not really a vlog. I talk in front of the camera one time, and it's in my house. I'm not in Chicago. Yeah. But it was because, like, if I turned that camera around, I was I felt so stupid in public, you know, trying to hold a camera in front of my face, and I don't know, like, if like, that's a barrier that I have to get over, but I don't even know if I want to get over that barrier, because I, like, you know, vlogging has never been my thing. I don't know if I ever want it to be my thing. It's just a way to get content on the channel and just get more videos out. But so, like, I don't know, just, it's so weird having to talk to a camera in public, even if you have, like, other people doing it too. Like I had you there, we both could have been talking, but I just refused to do it, and I just felt so weird, being that guy on the street that, you know, they're like, oh, just, you know, like, people, like, pointing or something, which normally I don't care. Like, I could do anything on the street, and I wouldn't care about people looking, but for some reason, having that camera in my hand and having it facing me, I just couldn't do it.
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm camera shy even if someone else is filming me.
Yeah.
Like, I do well on this, but it's because I eventually forget that the camera's not there.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like,
this is what we'd be doing anyway, except minus the lights and the camera, but, you know, we just talk about this shit.
Yeah.
And you go on 20-minute rambles about the Brazilian government.
Yeah, but no, but, like, I feel like I've gotten better with the camera though. Like, when we were filming together when we were younger, I didn't care, you know.
Well, yeah.
And then eventually I hit a stage where all of a sudden I cared because there was, like, a long break in between us filming something. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, shit, like, this is weird. I don't like this. Yeah. And that was kind of my transition to knowing that, like, definitely don't want to act. Like, want to be a writer for sure. Mm-hmm. But then I guess I got a little more comfortable in my skin because me and Georgia, we filmed a YouTube video, and we didn't put it up because I think we're going a different way with the channel.
I would still put it up though.
Yeah, but, like, it's a completely different idea. Like,
dude, my channel was gaming for, like,
I know,
and
but like
I might never go back to that. It's for me, it was all about just getting videos out there because you know, if anyone sees it, that's it, you know, and then they'll have access to the rest of your channel.
Yeah, but like my idea is like a series idea, so I don't know if I'm gonna put it up.
Yeah.
But like, because it'd be a weird transition. Like, yours makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
But my transition would be weird because it's still about the same thing, but it's like all of a sudden it's like me sitting in front of the camera and talking, and then all of a sudden it's like something a little more produced and, like, thought out. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I'm gonna post it, but my mannerisms in front of the camera were pretty casual. Like, I was like, whatever. Like, I'm let's just pretend the camera's not there and just, like, enjoy it. And also, I think it helped that George is a very, like, outgoing person, and she's good in front of the camera, which is good because she wants to be an actress. So that, like, made me more comfortable. It was like, she's so comfortable. Like, all I have to do is be chill. She's doing most of the work. But I don't think I'm ready to be at a point where I'm talking to the camera alone.
Yeah.
You know? Like, even though, like, that's part of, like, my plan for the channel is that I'm talking to the camera. Yeah. There's, like, involvement with other people within it. So it's a little more of, like, an acting thing than it is a vlogging thing.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I've learned about, like, you know, talking to the camera, even when I'm by myself, I still find it weird, just because it's really hard to be yourself or to put on a persona, like, yeah, because in the Chicago video, you know, that's me, but I think I'm a lot more lively than me just, you know, just like, I went to Chicago, here's the video, you know. But it's just so hard to be yourself and just talk, at least at the beginning, but I think that, you know, for me with the Chicago video, I was like, I gotta talk in this because I gotta start somewhere. Because who knows if I'm gonna continue with this, if this actually breaks out at some point, if people start watching these things, like, I'm gonna have to start somewhere, and it's gonna have to be bad at some point before it's good. I'm never just gonna jump in and it be good. So that's why I did it there, and I also think that the podcasts are helping, like, so much, just because it really just makes me feel like there's no camera there at some point, And
it proves to us that we can talk.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I still think that, you know, like, we hold stuff back in this podcast still, because, like, you know, like, before that camera was rolling, we were like, you know, like cracking jokes, and we were just a lot livelier people.
Yeah, and then we were taking this a little more seriously.
Yeah, which is fine, but it's still like there's a little bit of a veil, like, between our true personalities and our podcast personalities.
Yeah, for sure.
For now, at least. Mm-hmm. I think that the more that we do it, the more it'll be kind of like an integrated thing. Where obviously, you know, this isn't really like, you know, we're not going to be like silly on camera in the podcast. Maybe a little bit, but it's just,
we can like crack a joke or two, but like we're not like the Tom Segura podcast where it's
a legitimate comedian talking.
Yeah, but it's all jokes. Like, nothing they talk about is actually important or like a discussion. It's literally like someone sent in a video and they just crack jokes about it.
Yeah, and they talk about their shits for like a while.
Yeah.
Did you watch the DayDream Podcast with Tom Segura?
No, I can't wait to.
Oh my god, it's really good.
It's like a clash of like two things that I love.
Yeah.
That I never thought I'd ever see together.
Yeah. Once this is over, watch us all the way through. Don't click away. But then watch the DayDream Podcast with Tom Segura, because it is hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
It was so good.
I have to watch it.
But yeah.
I just don't have time.
I just. Well, you can't listen to them at work, can you?
No.
Yeah.
And also with their podcast, I like to watch it because they put stuff on the screen.
Yeah, they do. Because when I'm working, I throw it, I throw it on one corner of my screen, and then I'll just like do database stuff elsewhere.
I wish I could do that, but first off, my phone's battery is shit.
Yeah.
And
you need a new phone, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It's so bad.
Yeah, really bad. But second off, my job requires me to move around a lot. Yeah. So I can't really.
Yeah.
I just had my first day today, and it was not good. Just like, I realized like, this is what summer is working now.
Yeah.
And I work far from home, so I have to like go through rush hour traffic to get home, and like, it's amazing I'm even here right now, like, and have time to do something on a weekday.
Yeah.
It's just, I already know that I'm going to be tired, like, for the rest of the summer. Because I want to work out. I want to work out, like, and better myself in that. My room is still a fucking mess with all the boxes of stuff from college that I brought home. Mm-hmm. And I just, like, want to sit down sometimes and just chill.
Yeah.
But, like, I have to choose right now because my job is till 4:30, and if I want to get 8 hours of sleep and not even shower in the morning, like wake up and just go to work, I have to wake up at 6, so that means I have to go to bed at 10.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to leave here till probably after 10. Like,
yeah, probably.
And that's shitty. Like, if I hadn't come here tonight, I would have worked out, and then I would have gone to bed. Yeah. It's like I get one thing in work, and then on weekends it's like, okay, but like,
it's recovery. It's you don't
you
do things anyway because we're 20 and we want to go out and do stuff, but yeah, no, you're just dead.
And this Saturday I have to work, so that's great.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm great. Well, Grace is gonna be in town Saturday if you.
I work till 3 probably.
3.
So I could maybe hang out after.
Yeah, I mean, like go to Permanis or something.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
But it's.
Dude, I love Permanis.
I do too.
I brought it up. I haven't had it since I was still in school, which was like 2 months ago.
I think the last time I had it was with you.
Shit.
No. That was a long time.
That was like November.
That might be it though. That might be the last time I had Permanis.
It's been like almost a year since you had Permanis. Well, I get not really almost a year, but like 8 months.
Let's see. The last time I didn't have it yet this summer. Last time I was here was March.
When were you here with Georgia? That was.
It was Thanksgiving time.
Yeah, that was during Thanksgiving.
No. It was Christmas time.
Well, it was during your Thanksgiving break, is what I mean, because I was still in school. Because Grace was still here.
Yeah, but it was my Thanksgiving break goes all the way to New Year's.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that I think
Georgia,
that it was
Georgia came back again by surprise.
Yeah.
because Thanksgiving I was in Chicago with my family. So I came back, and Georgia came and visited.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't supposed to, and then she did. So that was December that we had it. And then I went on a trip. I came back New Year's with my friends from high school, and then I went back to school like the next day.
Oh yeah, you had to go back like January.
And then
2nd.
I came back for a spring break, and we didn't have time for Permanis. So the last time I had Permanis was with you in December.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, by the way, to anyone who isn't from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly.
Permanis is like probably the most famous.
Almost famous.
Restaurant in Pittsburgh.
It's I'm sure people have heard of it.
Yeah.
But so what it is it's just a sandwich joint, but you got your meat, you got your bread. Like it's best bread.
So good.
So good.
The bread's so good.
But the thing they do with it is that they'll load it up with fries and coleslaw and.
But it's good coleslaw.
It's good. I hate coleslaw.
Coleslaw with mayo makes me want to die.
Yeah.
Coleslaw with vinegar on a Permani sandwich is amazing.
Even Permani's coleslaw, like off the sandwich, I would not eat.
Yeah, I don't know if I would either.
But like on the sandwich, it's so good. You can't.
Perfection.
Grace's mom, she went to Permani's. When were they here? I think it was when Grace was leaving for summer, and she went to Permani's, and she's like a real picky eater. So all she got was meat on bread. I was legit angry with her, and I said I heard you went to Permani's, and she was like, yeah, I did, and I said, but I heard you didn't get Permani's, and she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you got meat on bread. That's what you got. You got salami on bread. That's all you got. It's good. It's delicious bread, but it's just meat on bread. And I was so mad. And I was starting to raise my voice, and the Grace was like, and I was like, I don't know why I'm actually mad about this. I just am. But the sandwiches are so good. You have to get them as they come. And I know that as a kid from Pittsburgh, when I was 15 and I ordered the fries on the side, and I got crucified. Yeah. People hated me.
It's like going to Philadelphia, getting a Philly cheesesteak and like putting mayo on it. It's like no. But do it our way. Do it our way.
Just try it, because like some people don't like it, and that's fine.
Yeah,
you know.
Well,
but you cannot go to Permani's. Just get you take off anything from there. You take off the fries. You take off the coleslaw, whatever. You take off anything, and then you take a bite of it, and you're like, I don't like this. It's like, well, you don't. That doesn't mean you don't like Permani's because you haven't had Permani's. But get the Pittsburgher, get the Capicola, get the
Pittsburgher, get the Pittsburgher, and then get the Angus. The Angus one.
Angus is real good.
Because I personally think that the Angus is basically just a better version of the Pittsburgher. The Pittsburgher is the best seller.
But the Pittsburgher is cheaper.
Yeah, but its name is the Pittsburgher, so I feel like that everyone just flocks to that.
Yeah.
But the Pittsburgher is like a frozen patty that they heat up.
Yeah.
The Angus is like meat, you know.
Is that your go-to? The Angus?
The Angus, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's called the Black Angus. But it's so good. But I took Georgia there, and Georgia's Brazilian and American food to her is foreign, and it's very strange to her. She can't handle like if we had done we got deep dish pizza 3 times while you were in Chicago. Yep. If Georgia did that on a weekend with me, she'd be like, yeah, I'm never having it again, you know, because it would like ruin her stomach, and she'd be like, I can't do this. But when I took her to Permani's, I don't know if she liked it. Like, I believe that I want to believe that she did, but I feel like she didn't. But she said that she couldn't finish it because, like, she was full, which I understand because they're big sandwiches.
Oh God, yeah, dude, it's like
she ate half and she was done.
They give you like half a loaf of bread.
Yeah, but part of me was like, you know what? Like, she ate it all, and I know that she'd go back with me because I'm very passionate about how much I like Permani's.
Just like Grace with me and Taco Bell.
And I can get another half of a sandwich out of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's because Grace can't eat it either.
Yeah. So I had a full sandwich, and I went, "Are you enjoying it?" And she said, "Yeah, but this is so much food." And she gave me another half, and I told her to order the same sandwich as me, so I got a half of the sandwich that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I
think she liked it. I just think that American food in general
it's heavy. It's a lot of food.
Yeah.
But yeah. No,
He's also on a health craze, so.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, about like, you know, how I said, you know, if you take off the coleslaw or whatever, and people saying they don't like permanis, I have such a gripe with people who tell me they don't like Taco Bell. Not because I'm not. It's totally possible. That shit's disgusting, and I love it. But the thing that I hate, and I've had 2 or 3 people tell me the same exact story. When I was like, yeah, I love Taco Bell. I spent $500 on it during one semester, and I basically bankrupted myself. But it was worth it. And then they'll be like, oh, I don't like Taco Bell. I'm like, why? And they're like, it's just not good. It's just not good food. I'm like, what'd you get? Like, I got tacos. I'm like, fuck you mean you got tacos at Taco Bell? Look at the names of these shits. Mexican pizza, Crunchwrap Supreme, Gordita. Like, these, you don't get taco. When you go to Taco Bell, you get the Crunchwrap Supreme or the quesadilla are the 2 starter items. If you get one of those and you don't like it, then you won't like Taco Bell. And that's okay. I'm fine with people saying they don't like Taco Bell. Just have a Taco Bell experience. Shit.
Hopefully I pass my coughs on to you.
I'm getting over something, so it's bad. But have a legit Taco Bell experience, and then you can tell me you don't like Taco Bell, and then I'll be cool with it.
I like Taco Bell, and you know what I found out? Georgia likes Taco Bell,
dude.
And I was surprised because, it's unhealthy, but she was able to admit that it was good. That doesn't mean that she wants to go to Taco Bell, because she's very good about her health and stuff.
Well, yeah, going to Taco Bell for me, because, like, you know, I've been really heavy into dieting and working out and stuff, but going to Taco Bell this summer is just me admitting defeat. You know, like, I just can't do it. And I'm always craving Taco Bell. Like,
well, I need to gain weight, so I should go to Taco Bell.
Do go to Taco Bell. Like, you and John need to go to Taco Bell, because John needs to gain some fucking weight. But, oh my god, that was so funny. We went to Taco Bell, and John had been talking to me. He's like, I need a job. You know, he's like, I need a job, man. Like, I'm not doing anything this summer. Like, I need money. You know, all this stuff. We go to Taco Bell, of all places, and this dude's standing there. It's this this bigger black shit. This bigger black guy, and he says, "Excuse me, guys. Can I ask you what you do for work?" And I was like, "Oh, I work in venture capitalism." And this is so fucking funny. I go, "I work in venture capitalism." He goes, "Venture what?" It was like I work with startup companies, and he was like, "Oh, okay." And he just like looked at John. He was like done with my conversation. Yeah. He was like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm actually not working right now." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you want a job, we just opened up this Topgolf place, and you know we're hiring everybody." He was like $14 an hour, which is not bad, especially for a summer job. $14 an hour, you get to do anything, like just anything, and so John talked to him, but then we get into my car after we got our food, and John's like, "I'm not gonna do it." Like, why would you not do that? You were just complaining about not having a job, and this is pretty good paying, and you get to do anything at a driving range, like, dude. And John loves golf, and then John's like, "Too far. It's just too far for me." I was like, John, take the job. Like, you're not gonna find anything better. You're gonna be a fucking like cashier at a gas station or something for a little bit.
That's the thing, is I would have been in trouble if I hadn't taken the job I have now. Because it's hard to look, especially because I came home so late. Yeah, it's hard to get a job.
Well, no one wants sophomores in college. Yeah. Everyone wants high school students who are going to be there for, you know,
the whole year. Yeah.
Well, the whole year, or at least for definitely more consistent. Mm-hmm. You know, but when you're a sophomore in college, it's like, you know, and trying to find a new job. Like, if you're returning to a job, that's easy. But finding a new job when you're a sophomore, it's like nobody wants you because they know you're temporary, and they know that you're not. There's no chance of you staying annually. Yeah. Because you have to leave for school again, and you're more desirable. But you're more desirable because you have more talents. But that doesn't help when you just want like an entry level job as like like a cook or just or a waiter or anything. It just doesn't help when you're. But next year we'll be able to get internships and everything, so that's different. But right now it's really hard because internships don't want sophomores; they want juniors.
Yeah.
So it's job searching right now is so difficult. I'm happy that I'm still with my mom's company for now.
Yeah, well, I had to go through my dad to get work. That's like the only way to do it. And my job before that, it was because I knew the guy that owned the company, because he went to the same school as me, and like that's the only way I've ever gotten work. And it makes me feel like, oh well, fuck, like I'm not learning anything because I'm not doing the job search. But I fucking have. It's just I've done the job search at a time where the only time I could work is in the summer and then I leave, and obviously people aren't going to want that. Like last year I applied to like so many restaurants just to be like a busboy or a waiter or like a host, like anything at a restaurant, and didn't hear back from anyone. And like I went into places I was like, can I have an application? They're like, can you go full year round? And I was like, no. And they're like, we're not going to give you an application. Like, they don't even give you one. And it's just... So I realized that like I've been doing...
We're 51 minutes.
51 minutes.
Yeah. No, keep going though.
But
we got time.
I forgot what I was going to say. No, but like, it's just... It's annoying, but I get why they have to do that.
Oh, yeah, I get it. It just sucks for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, so we have like 15 minutes left in this podcast. So I wanted to bring up a point that I warned you about because I wanted to catch you on the fly, but then I thought, that's a little...
If you caught me on the fly, I wouldn't have any answers.
Yeah. So...
And I'm going to need you to pass me my phone because I might forget.
Oh, yeah. So Alex and I, we're not music experts by any stretch of the means, but we are both very passionate about our taste in music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked Alex, what are your top 5 albums of all time? Doesn't have to be like the 5 greatest.
I don't think I can say the 5 greatest. I'm going to say my top favorite from some of my favorite artists. And the number 1 album for me is because the album and the number 2 are because the albums as a whole I enjoy listening to. Yeah. The other 3 are because they include songs that are like a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Because there are some songs on some of these albums that I've never even heard, but I'm not like a big album guy. Like there are rap artists that I could listen to one of their songs and enjoy, and then there's an old cheesy 80s band that I could listen to one of their songs and enjoy. So it's just like my music taste is all across the board, and it's not really by artist, but I have a few artists that I go, these guys made a lot of songs that I like. Yeah. And I just found like albums that have the most songs I like in them. Mm-hmm. So do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. So do
you have yours in an order? Like, is it 5 to 1, or is it just these are your top 5?
First, I want to tell you that my albums include the Fab Four, The King, Queen, and Prince. Okay. So I think that's cool that I have King, Queen, and Prince in it. But
I need to get out I think I have like a sheet of paper or something. Yeah, I do. Because I just gotta write mine down so that I remember the order that they're in.
Okay, so I'm gonna go 5 to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 5 to 4. So I'm gonna start with I forget the name of it.
And you know you gotta like tell me why though. You gotta give me a little bit of a description.
Okay, so my first one is Elvis Presley.
Okay.
Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. So it's a live album.
Okay.
And it has a lot of the songs that I really enjoy, like Burn in Love. He does My Way on this. He does Johnny Be Good on this. He does Blue Suede Shoes on this. He does Hound Dog, Suspicious Minds, Can't Help Falling in Love. Really good Elvis shit, but also his version of other shit too.
Yeah.
And his live stuff, I really enjoy his live. His live music.
Okay.
So that's my number 5.
Right.
My number.
Wait. Do you want to? I'll do my number 5.
Yeah, do your number.
Okay.
5, yeah.
So, man, I'm struggling a little bit because like I had it in my mind, and it's still it's between 2 albums, but it's 2 albums by the same artist. So I kind of want to cheat a little bit and say both of them, but shit.
Is it it's a tie between 5 and 6 or 4 and 5?
5 and 6. 4 through 1 are all good. I know them. Shit. Okay, so it's Kendrick Lamar, and it's between Section 80 and Damn. They're just, oh my god, like not only do they mean so much to me, because like they were just, they were formative albums for me. I love both of them, and they solidified my taste in hip hop like so much, and like the next 4 of my albums, I'll flip that, but like the next 4 of my albums are not hip hop, but doesn't mean I don't love rap and just that genre in general. It's just because I think that these albums are like historical, the next 4, but so were these ones for Kendrick, and they were definitely historical for me personally, just because I don't know, like listening to them, it's listening to masterpieces, and some people watching or watching in the future, because watching is going to be like my brother, but right currently. But will argue like, oh, it's when Butterfly's better, or you won't even put Good Kid, Mad City in that, and I totally would, but I came across those albums at a different time in my life, because Good Kid, Mad City came out when I was like 13, and just the messages were lost on me, and I mean, there's not a whole lot that a suburban white kid can relate to in a Kendrick song, but there's a lot of deep emotions in just being a person in Kendrick that everyone can feel, and that's why I love him so much. But so Good Kid, I came across it at the wrong time. Otherwise, I think that it would be a 3-way tie. But Section 80, it came out when I was even younger, but I hadn't listened to it till I was like 17. And Damn came out like 2 years ago. I think it came out 2 years ago, and just the impact that they had on me, and just the musical prowess of Kendrick Lamar. He's a master at rap. He just is. He's a lyrical genius. He's a musical genius. And he really pushes political movements and emotional movements better than any hip hop artist can today. And so I just have so much respect for him as an artist, and that's why 2 albums for him are tied for number 5 for me. But okay, you're number 4.
Just letting you know now that none of the artists that I have as my top 5 albums are current day. If I were to do current day, Kendrick would probably be on there. Post Malone would probably be on there. Childish Gambino would probably be on there.
I thought about Post, but his albums just didn't. Like, they're really good, but they didn't have an emotional impact on me. Well,
okay, so mine from here on out, I'd say are emotional impact.
Okay.
Like Elvis I listened to since I was a little kid, but that live album just has the most songs from him. Mm-hmm. And I listened to a lot of greatest hits albums from a lot of the artists I'm going to tell you. So the top 2 I've listened to the album, and maybe the third one as well. Listened to it full way through, like multiple times. Enjoyed it because it's the album.
Yeah.
But even with the artists from the first 2, definitely from the third, I listened to their greatest hits, and this one as well. I listened to their greatest hits, and like those songs are really what give me like memory. So my number 4 is A Night at the Opera by Queen.
Oh, okay. Shit. All
so
right.
this one has Bohemian Rhapsody in it.
Of course.
I can't remember what the other one was on here, but Queen for me is like, it reminds me of my dad a lot, because he when I was younger, we listened to Queen a lot, like in the car. And for some reason I associate it with like where he worked. and just like I have a lot of memories there. I mean, I work where he works, so
yeah,
like I still get those memories, and Queen like reminds me of that, like when I was a kid and stuff. And I just like really enjoy Queen. Like I'm really excited for the Bohemian Rhapsody movie coming out.
I think what's his name playing Freddie Mercury from Mr. Robot?
Yeah,
he's gonna be so good.
He's gonna be great. Yeah, that's why I'm excited, because it looks legitimately good.
Yeah,
but
he's a great actor.
I just think Queen is like a really, really good group. Like there are only a few groups that I'd go see a concert now, but like there are a few groups where I go, damn, I wish that I could have been to their concert.
And I can guess that there are 2 albums by the same artist coming up at some point that you feel the same about.
But like Queen is one of them for sure.
Yeah.
Because like, what was his name? There was a guy that was on American Idol that did a tour with Queen, but like I would have gone to see that, but like Freddie Mercury was an iconic man.
Yeah.
And I just really wish that I could have been alive to experience their music in concert.
He was so awesome. He just didn't give a shit. Like, you know, he was arguably the most flamboyant gay man ever.
Yeah.
In a time when that was not cool.
No one was like that.
Like, I mean, it wasn't like he was doing it in like the 30s, but it still was not an accepting environment at all. And it's just it's just tragic how he died, like the way that he died. But
I just think their music is like really, really good.
Yeah.
He was a great songwriter. You know that like there was a post I saw one time where it was like "Baby" by Justin Bieber was written by like 9 people. And Bohemian Rhapsody was written by Freddie Mercury alone.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's kind of telling.
You know? Yeah. I mean, I really feel though that like the musical geniuses today, because there are musical geniuses today, but I feel like they are pushed to the side, where and they're not mainstream, whereas they were back then.
Were mainstream.
Queen was huge, and I don't want to name other artists that were huge because they're on both of our lists. But okay, so quick disclaimer, because Alex made a note that he's not really an album listener. You tend to listen to just songs.
From here on out, these are albums I've listened to.
I am an album listener. If I hear one song that I like, I listen to the whole album like immediately afterwards. It's just how I listen to music. So this next album is kind of a curveball because it's not necessarily one that I listen to all the time. But I just think that it like thinking about greatest albums of all time in my head, like for me, it's so hard to avoid this group and this album in general. It's Random Access Memories by Daft Punk.
That's a good one.
It is so beautiful. The whole album is just arguably it was the album that brought about the resurgence of like 70s and 80s music. Get Lucky is the first instance that I can think of that was a very mainstream song that captured that disco 70s vibe and pushed it back into the mainstream. And then a lot of people followed suit. But Get Lucky is just like the most famous song off there. You start listening to the other songs, Giorgio, Touch. It's just... I don't really listen to music and ever want to like cry. Other people do. Like Grace does. Grace is really into music, and she saw Porter Robinson in concert. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Yeah. But
good.
Yeah, he's really good. But his music is also very beautiful, and Grace cries at concerts sometimes. I don't. Music just doesn't do it to me usually. That album brings me so close to tears every time I hear it. Like the Hold On part in Touch. I don't know if you.
I don't think I've heard Touch.
If love is the answer, you'll hold on, and then they just repeat it over and over, and it's just this like angelic choir, and it's just amazing.
I love Daft Punk, dude.
Yeah, no,
I didn't even think to even look at like the Daft Punk albums that I listened to. Because
I mean, people might say that their earlier stuff might be more deserving, but I really think that was their magnum opus. Like that was. It wasn't necessarily a lot of techno or EDM, but it was a lot of orchestra and just a lot of instruments, and but they showed their genius as composers in that album, and I used to listen to the album like all the time. Now I really don't, but whenever I was thinking about asking you greatest albums in your opinion, like the image of their two masks next to each other just came to my head, and I was like, that is one of the best.
Yeah, but Daft Punk deserves more respect.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, more people need to be like, these are really good artists.
Yeah.
Because, like even, like, I Feel It Coming by The Weeknd?
Yeah.
The best part's when Daft Punk comes in.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Daft Punk comes in, I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Same with the beat for Starboy and Stronger when, like, by Kanye West, going back a little bit. But that song is only good. Well, I mean, like, Kanye's verses are great, but without Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, that song wouldn't exist.
Yeah. And
God,
that's
they're
what
so
makes
good.
It. That's what makes it good.
They're so good.
Really, really good. But there's something about in I Feel It Coming. Like it literally, like like a jazz club. The guy's got like on a red velvet suit, and they got the spotlight on him, and the curtains behind him.
Yeah.
And he's got like that old microphone.
Yeah.
You know? Just like that feel. I just feel like when I think of that. When I think of that song, when I'm listening to that song, I picture like a music video or a film where The Weeknd's there singing, and then all of a sudden Daft Punk comes in, and the two guys with the masks, and I just see like them with like the velvet jackets on. They come on with like microphones, you know, they're wearing the masks, you know.
Yeah.
They come in, and then everyone just like freaks out, and that's like the big moment in the film where it's like Daft Punk is here, and that's what I feel like it should be like when you hear Daft Punk in general, where it's like these guys are good, like pay attention to these guys. Like I understand, like they're wearing masks and you can't tell if they're good looking or not. Like there's like
they're weird looking French dudes.
But they're like there's an aspect of Daft Punk that's cool, but it also means they're missing out on things. It's the same as that Marshmallow guy and Deadmau5.
Yeah.
Like there's an aspect.
Deadmau5.
Deadmau5. But there's a
that's
there's a missing part there, and I think it might hold them back a little bit. But like people need to go like, okay, but like their music's like really damn good.
Yeah.
You know, so
they really are like. I mean, there were EDM artists before them. I mean, they paid tribute to Giorgio in Random Access Memories, but
he's the real. Like, he started it. Like back in the 70s,
he
right?
really started techno and EDM in general. But
he did a score for a full like film from like the 40s.
Yeah.
And he redid it.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
But but just like how I said that they pushed 70s back into mainstream, I think that they really were the artists that pushed EDM into mainstream because, you know, I mean, nice. I mean, other than The Roots, Sandstorm, and that song Streamline, I can't remember who it's by. Like, it was Daft Punk who really pushed that whole genre, and I think they started a movement that's still going today because EDM's huge now.
Yeah.
You know, and all the iterations of it are just massive.
All right, so my number 3.
Go ahead.
So this one is definitely memory based. Yeah. Honestly, like I don't know, if I didn't have like nostalgia along with it, I might not even consider it my top 10. Yeah. But the way that my life has gone, and the way like my relationship with my parents has gone, this album is big. Mm-hmm. And it's Purple Rain by Prince.
Okay.
So I know that you're not a Prince fan,
I'm not.
But
I don't.
And it's
I
like,
don't get it.
It's his voice is interesting, you know. But I listen. So my family in my old house always used to have the radio on, but it was like a CD player back then. So they'd play CDs. And the CDs that I remember the most are the Eagles' Greatest Hits, the Beatles' One album, which is all their number ones.
Yeah, their greatest hits.
And Prince, Purple Rain. And so whenever I listen to one of those songs from it, which Purple Rain literally has almost all of his good songs, like When Doves Cry, I Would Die For You, Purple Rain, obviously. And it's like, it's very different, and it's very good, and like, I debated over whether or not I should put a Michael Jackson song or a Prince song up, album as like in my top 5, and I went, Michael Jackson's good, but Prince has more like effect on me, and like it's obvious like that it had effect on my family too, and like Prince was like a huge deal in my house because when Prince died, my dad was legitimately sad, like legitimately sad. So I feel like Prince is like his album being in there is more of a nostalgia thing than anything. But I do enjoy listening to his music, but I really think it's nostalgia based.
Okay. All right. My number 3. We're getting into one of the albums that you knew would be on this for me. Mm-hmm. This one has so much sentimental value to me, and also just it comes from one of the greatest artists, one of the greatest groups to ever perform, and it's Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. I don't even know. Like, I don't know where to start or where to end with Pink Floyd because with Dark Side, just Dark Side on its own. Because like I could probably talk, and I think you know this. I could probably talk about Dark Side for a 3-hour podcast by myself.
Yeah.
I could just go on and on about how much I love Pink Floyd and how much they mean to me, how incredible they are. But Dark Side was their breakthrough. It was what solidified them as one of pretty much the first psychedelic rock band, or at least the first one to really push it and make it popular. And Dark Side was just what really made people realize how genius these guys were. Because I mean, they had albums before it that were very popular. Piper at the Gates of Dawn, which was their first album, and Atom Heart Mother was very popular. But Dark Side broke all kinds of records at the time, and it just it's just one of the most beautiful pieces I've ever heard. And like I've had people ask me, what's your favorite song on Dark Side, and you know what part's your favorite, and whenever I think about that, it's like asking me like what's your favorite part of Pulp Fiction, like what's your favorite part of Catch Me If You Can. It's like I don't take a scene.
Yeah, it's like it's all good.
Yeah, I don't take a scene from a movie and I'm like I could watch this all day. Like, and I mean I'm not saying that, you know, like I can listen to songs by themselves, but when it comes, but that album and almost all of Pink Floyd's albums are narratives. They take you through a journey, and you have to listen to the journey from the beginning to the end. They have 2 songs on there that people play outside of the album, Money and Time, and they're both great songs. They're fantastic songs, but played in the context of the whole album, it elevates them so much more than they ever were before. And oh god, I just love everyone in Pink Floyd at that time, because that was really their collaboration. They really came together. No mind was left out. Everyone had a say, and it showed David Gilmour, it showed Roger Waters, it showed Richard Wright. I'm pretty sure that's his first name. And their drummer, whose name I never remember. but all of them came together, and that was the beauty that they created. And I love that album, and I've been listening to it pretty much like once a week at least since I was 16. But yeah, I'll stop it there because I could go on forever.
But I don't have Pink Floyd on my top 5.
I know you don't.
I do like Pink Floyd. I just didn't get into them like you did. This is where you kind of knew I was going.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. This is number 2, right?
Number 2, for me is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles.
Yeah.
And it's because that is what got me into vinyl. That album was the first album where I went, you can listen to a whole album and it can be all good. And that one in particular is sort of a narrative, especially because the beginning and the end are like, it's the same song, but it's like saying hello to everyone and then saying goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
And the album cover to me is like, holy shit, these dudes are like crazy awesome. Have you seen the cover of Sgt. Pepper?
I've listened to the whole album a few times.
It's like, these dudes are these dudes, I don't even know how to explain the Beatles.
Yeah.
You listen to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and then you realize it's LSD. You're like, holy shit, these guys were so drugged up, but they're freaking awesome, and they're so talented.
Yeah.
Like, their range is like, they used to be the boy band, you know, and then they started doing, like, crazy shit. Have you heard the song Strawberry Fields Forever?
I love that song.
Holy shit, that's not on the album, but...
Yeah,
like,
it's not. That's on Yellow Submarine? No, sorry,
I think it's on the Blue.
Blue?
That's where I listened to it.
Or no,
the Blue album.
Not the Yellow Submarine. Mystery Magic. What's that?
Magical Mystery Tour.
Or
yeah,
something like that. I think it's on that. I might be totally wrong.
I don't know. But all I know is that Sgt. Pepper has not one song on it that I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
I personally like the song When I'm 64. It's like, it's silly, but like what's funny to me is I think without ever having done LSD, I feel like I was on a trip listening to their music. I'm like, these guys personified what their experience was so well. Because everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? But also like, you know what? I dig this. And it's strange, and it's like, what's going on? But it's also like, I get it. And I think that's really cool that, like, and the Beatles did it more than once. Just like making everyone go, what? But also like, yeah, cool. Like, this is awesome. I just think that they're the greatest band of all time. I think that it's not a cliche. And I think that people who are born today at this minute should know that it's not a cliche, that these guys are legit.
Yeah.
Like, really, really good. Like, without them, we wouldn't have a lot of what we have now, like, music-wise. They're just, like, their range, they're staying relevant for so long while switching genres, which is almost impossible. You saw Taylor Swift do it, and everyone hated it. Well, okay, not everyone hated it, but I hated it. When she switched to pop, I was like, dude, you were so good in country. Like, Taylor Swift, I was not embarrassed to say, yeah, her music was good. Mm-hmm. And then it switched to pop, and I was like, I don't know. And Lady Gaga does some switching around too. Or like, I don't know. But the Beatles, they really switched. Yeah. And I was like, no, this is really good. Yeah. But I'll stop talking about the Beatles because...
Don't worry about it, because we're going to keep talking about them, which I hope I don't steal your number one. I don't think I will.
You might.
Then I probably will. If you said I might, I probably will. It's Abbey Road. That's still your number one.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay. So, Abbey Road. I was never the biggest fan of the Beatles. It's just they were never my group, and I listened to some songs by them, but just couldn't.
I like their later shit. My dad likes their earlier shit. I like their later shit. So it's just like
I mean, I like now that I've listened to their full discography a few times. I love just watching like the progression of it, because I think okay, this is gonna sound like a bad comparison, but you'll kind of get what I mean. That I don't even know if I would say that they genre flipped as much as they like rode what was happening, and they pushed they pushed forward in music like Kanye does now.
Yeah, they're just like developing with the time.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you would listen to College Dropout now, Kanye's first album,
not the same. No.
It's not the same. It's still great, but it's an album that's very of its time. Just like Life of Pablo was, and just like Ye is now, and looking back on the Beatles and when they switched to that psychedelic and just weird music, that was right at the turn into the into 66, and they really went for what the movement was at the time, and it got so popular, and then I don't know if their later shit talking about like Abbey Road and Let It Be, if I would necessarily say that was riding, like trying to like move music further, but Abbey Road was, I'd say, their greatest album, because it really it not only pushed music, but it really showed their abilities, I think, in music and in their thought process. Paul McCartney's songwriting abilities are masterful, and in that album, I think it is the most apparent, especially with they have like really good songs that anyone would say is a good song. Like they have Come Together, Here Comes the Sun, but then you have more obscure songs like Maxwell Silver Hammer,
so good,
which is an incredible song, and some people would be like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. This is really weird, but it's just so masterful, and it they're just geniuses, man.
They are. They're really...
And I love them. And I think Let It Be would probably be like my number 7 album, because that album has more meaning to me. Mainly just because of the song Let It Be. But the whole album is fantastic. But I think that Abbey Road was their magnum opus, just like Random Access Memories was for Daft Punk. I think that's where they didn't really care. That was weird. They didn't really care about pushing music further towards the trends that it was going to be riding. It was more, it was just kind of like they were like, we have to show what we can do now, and I think that they really did it with Abbey Road.
Okay. Yeah, that's my number 1.
Damn it. Okay. All right.
No,
so if you want to talk about Abbey Road for a minute, though, before we go on to my number 1.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. So for me, Sgt. Pepper was what got me into vinyl and made me realize that listening to albums can actually be enjoyable. Because before that, I was like, just, this song's good.
Yeah.
But Abbey Road went, like, this isn't just like, oh, that was a trip. Like, emotionally it gets me. Like, the song, Something, fucking kills me. And like, what's the other one? Because.
Yeah.
Because, oh my god, that one gets me too. But with Sgt. Pepper, there's nothing on that album that I don't like listening to. But with Abbey Road, it's like that, but it's like better.
Yeah.
Like that's what Abbey Road for me is. Is like, it's still a trip. It's a different kind of trip, obviously, but everything's good about it. But it's better, and it makes me feel like music in general makes me feel, but it tends to be those like they put a note in or two that like just sets off an emotion for like anybody, But the Beatles, it's literally like their lyrics and like how like it's intriguing what they're actually saying to you is intriguing. And you go, I don't really understand, but I understand how you feel. Mm-hmm. Like what you're feeling while you're singing this song, I get it. I've never had that feeling before, but I get, like, I feel empathy.
Yeah.
Like when they're singing in pain, when they're singing to be silly, when they're singing in happiness in Abbey Road, I go, I get it, but you've experienced life on a more elevated level than I have. It's obvious.
Yeah. They just portray emotion.
Yeah, they're so good at it.
So well.
Something literally, when he said, you're asking me if I don't know? Wait, you're asking me, will my love grow? I don't know.
Yeah.
That part of the song, I go, holy shit, hold back the tears. And like, honestly, I don't know exactly what they're talking about in that song.
But I mean, I draw my own conclusions from it, which I think is what they want.
Yeah, but but they've experienced like elevated emotion just because of the lives that they lived. They they did drugs, and they experienced things that I haven't experienced. But like I still understood like where they were coming from.
Yeah.
And it's cool that I could feel empathy for an artist that sang this years and years and years ago, way before I was born, and I can go, holy shit, dude, like, I get you. Yeah. I get you. But I also know that you're more complex than I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel like human beings are fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
And that's what Abbey Road does for me. It's like, people are crazy.
Quick side note before I get to my number 1. You watched Carpool Karaoke with Paul McCartney?
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it, but I enjoyed it.
I just like watching that. It's just so amazing to see that Paul McCartney lived his whole life as a rock star. From the time he was a teenager to now that he's 80s, right? He's in his 80s. I'm pretty sure he's in his 80s.
Getting close.
And he is so nice. Like, just a down-to-earth person. And like, you know, I mean, I don't know him personally, obviously, but, like, how he comes off is just very...
How can you be the Beatles and, like,
and
not
humble?
It's... Because you like literally are considered the best by so many people.
I mean, like, well, I was
saying, does that not get to your head?
I was saying to my dad, because he watched it, I was like, Mick Jagger's an asshole. And he was famous about the same amount of time that Paul McCartney was, but Mick Jagger, you know, and I'm not saying, like, I understand why Mick Jagger's an asshole. If you say, like, from the time you're 15, you can say Coke, and then there's just a Coke in your hand. Of course you're going to be an asshole. You expect everything that you want right as you want it because you have always gotten it.
Yeah.
And Paul McCartney has probably had the same experience for the most part. But he's just so down to earth and he's such a person, and I think that it reflects in the music too, because, like, I mean, Rolling Stones were incredible.
The Rolling Stones are so good,
but they weren't
beat levels. They're not on the level.
They weren't as deep. They were much more surface level band.
Yeah.
But the Beatles went and, like, take you through your soul listening to them.
Have you ever seen the Beatles documentary? I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer for it, and you can just see it. It's like these guys get that they're famous, but they're also just, like, silly dudes. Like, they make jokes. Like, they're funny guys. Like, they joke around and stuff. But, like, the funny thing about Mick Jagger is that he's kind of a dick, and, like, he gets what he wants and he can just yell and someone will do it. Like, that's. And his mannerisms are funny, but the Beatles are legitimately, like, funny. Like, just watch the trailer for their documentary. The documentary is literally them running from girls and saying funny shit.
Oh wait, is that A Hard Day's Night? That?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I did see that. Yeah, they are really funny. John Lennon's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ringo's funny too.
Yeah. Well, Ringo's kind of an asshole now, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just a little bit. But anyway, all right. So my number one. Anyone who knows me will not be surprised at all about my number one album, because I always talk about it, and I always talk about how amazing it is. I'm getting a call. I don't know if that cut off the camera. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Alex's mother conveniently interrupted the podcast, but that's fine. You know, she doesn't know. It's cool. Just cut off my very high-priced camera, which is my phone. But okay, so my number one, it won't surprise anyone, because anyone who knows me knows that this is my favorite album of all time. I never stop talking about it, just like I never stop talking about Catch Me If You Can. It's my favorite movie. Mm-hmm. Is Hello!
Who interrupted that one, Evan?
My mother interrupted that one, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll just start over with what I was saying. My favorite album of all time is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, and so I started listening to The Wall, and I was listening to Dark Side when I was 16, and I never wanted to, like, get out of that, because those are, without a doubt, the most famous albums by Pink Floyd, and it was kind of like my comfort zone at the time. But my brother actually told me that Wish You Were Here was his favorite album, and my brother was the one who got me into Pink Floyd, so I decided, you know, I need to check this out. Like, this is you know, I just have to see, because he was the one who told me about Dark Side. And I listened to Wish You Were Here, and you know, talking about how Random Access Memories almost brought me to tears, and how you know, like, music doesn't usually push me. Wish You Were Here did push me, and it did bring me to tears multiple times I listened to it, because it you know, talking about with the Beatles, where it's like you can find your own meaning for things that they're saying, and there is no necessary true meaning of the music. That is so evident in Wish You Were Here, and it can connect to you on so many levels with so much shit that you're going through, and it is just a therapeutic album for me. Mm-hmm. And I just think that it is the masterpiece of music, in my opinion. And I think that you know, Pink Floyd is the greatest artist of all time, and a lot of people disagree with me on that, but that's just my opinion. But you know, I love Wish You Were Here before, but then I watched a documentary about the album, and how like what the music really did mean to them, and how Shine On You Crazy Diamond, an almost 20-minute song, is all about Syd Barrett, the former leading man of Pink Floyd, and how and his spiral into this LSD comatose state that he put himself into, and just how he let himself go, and they were saying, you know, like how beautiful of a man he was, and just, you know, it's so pure, and it is such a, with those guys, I said that in Dark Side they came together, but that was before they really went through the fame that they had post Dark Side. Wish You Were Here, they had the fame, and that was the album when they decided, we want to make another record, but we don't want to make it commercial. We want to make it emotional. We want people to know our struggles. We want people to know what we're going through, and they did, and they just related it so well. Just how I said the Beatles can convey emotions, I think that Pink Floyd can just as well as they can for people, and it's just so incredible. Not only what it did for music, but what it can do for people of all ages, now and then.
All right. Okay.
But yeah.
You convinced me. I'll listen to Wish You Were Here.
Listen to Wish You Were Here. and then watch the documentary about it. Okay. But so, ladies and gentlemen, hate to cut it right after that whole rant about our top 5 albums, but Alex's ride is here.
Yeah.
And is getting impatient. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you could leave a comment and a like down below, it helps us out immensely. And subscribe to the channel. You know, good content, no harm. You know, just stick around.
Just do it.
New podcast every once in a while. But thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.